I'm Laura Zabel. I'm the Executive Director of Springboard for the Arts, which is an economic and community development organization run entirely by artists. So I guess that means I'm an artist also.
And there he was, in a powder blue tuxedo with a white ruffled shirt and a powder blue bow tie.
My background is as a theater maker, actor. You know, it's one of those things that makes sense in retrospect. I look back as early as like high school and college, and I always was interested in sort of organizing within the arts community and how art can be sort of deployed or engaged in the other issues of the community. So, you know, it makes sense now, but I never could have articulated then that this is where I would end up.
I like that idea.
Springboard's an organization that is about helping artists make a living and a life and helping communities tap into the power and the resource that artists can provide. We really started defining the work as economic and community development. A lot of people would refer to Springboard as an artist service organization. That's not really a term that I'm down with. I feel like artists aren't victims in need of service. They are a powerful creative force, and it's just a matter of sort of knitting our creative community back into the fabric of the whole community. So we've been doing this big project called Irrigate in the Central Corridor during the construction of the light rail that has been about supporting artists to do creative projects with business owners, with neighborhood organizations, projects that attract people and attention and dollars to those places during this huge disruption, and that also help change the narrative about what's possible. And then in 2010, we started this program called Community Supported Art in partnership with MN Artists. It's based on the community supported agriculture model. So instead of getting vegetables from a farm, you get art from local artists. The point of the program really is to make direct connections between the public and the artists who live and work in their community.
Today we are at Silverwood Park in St. Anthony, Minnesota, and this is an opportunity for shareholders to come up and pick up the work that they purchased, but it's also an opportunity for them to mingle with the artists and really have a live and interactive community around this cool project.
Being a part of the CSA project this year it's really great because sometimes you produce a lot of work and you don't know who's going to see it, or if anyone's going to see it, or if anyone's going to like it or own it. And working on every single little drawing, like I knew it was going to someone. And so to actually be able to meet shareholders and have that connection is something that we don't always experience.
This is just so much fun, I can't tell you.
Great, we're glad you're here, guys.
Over the last 10 years, the organization has grown, the budget has grown. I lost track at 10 times over. It's more than that now, which, you know, I don't really measure the success or failure of the organization based on budget size, but it's a handy shorthand for how much we've grown. I think one of the early inflection points was when we developed the Artist Access to Healthcare program. We did this big statewide study that showed that artists are twice as likely to lack health insurance as the general population in Minnesota. That's true all across the country too. And we went around to a lot of people and said, we are going to do something about this. And people kind of universally said, oh, that is really important. You're never going to be able to do anything about that. I mean, it's just a huge, crazy, complicated system. And we did. We started this program called Artist Access to Healthcare. It really focused on health care versus health insurance. And we've helped over 5,000 artists go to the doctor through that program. It's work I'm really proud of and feels really important to the community. I always say, you know, I speak healthcare now, which is, for someone with a theater degree, an unusual turn of events.
Stacy, we're just gonna go in the costume room a little bit.
It's open. No, let's turn the lights up.
All right.
Theater in the Round is one of the oldest theaters in the Twin Cities, and it's just one of my favorite places in the whole community. It's a place that's meant a lot to me as an artist and to hundreds and thousands of other actors and performers and stage managers and directors in the Twin Cities. It just sort of provides this wonderful piece of infrastructure for the community here.
There's like a whole silver shoe section, just in case.
And gosh, like this place, I've just played you know, those roles that are like the roles you want to play, these sort of iconic, amazing roles. I was Emily in Our Town and the lady in the Scottish play, and just really amazing roles that you don't get the opportunity to do very often. And it makes me feel like this place is just so important to who I am as an actor and to my sort of growing up and evolving and learning a lot about myself.
My mother went to Montreal.
New York City.
And she brought me back.
Love, Loss, and What I Wore is the first show that I've done in a really long time, the first fully staged play.
The minute you see Laura, you love her. She's so good with so many different kinds of people and brings her own style to being this really powerful leader. I know she's dealing with all these different artists and their needs, and she's giving speeches, and she's out there fighting for our right to do this show. I mean, at the heart of it, she's a huge leader in this community and so respected and seems to be just growing every year. So I feel pretty excited to have her in my show, not only because she's a great performer, but because of what she represents in terms of an artist.
I went to school for theater. I went to the University of Kansas and have a degree in theater. And then I moved to the Twin Cities right after that because of the art community here, because of the theater community, because I wanted to be a place where that was a priority for the community and a place where I could see myself being involved in that part of the community for a really long time. And that worked out pretty well. Even though I might not perform in sort of traditional theatrical ways as much as I used to, I feel like those skills are still a huge part of my life, and they're a huge asset in the work that I do every day at Springboard for the Arts in terms of public speaking and in terms of creating collaborative projects. The things I learned from theater about how to come together with a group of people and make something happen quickly and in a creative way, that's what we do every day at Springboard.